What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for a live show um, post Torino win. Got confused, but we won. And I titled the show "Is Allegri a Genius?" I will explain why. I titled this show like this, but please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that bell notification because tomorrow there's no live, there's a daily. On Friday there's a live and a podcast. And so Julian is back for a podcast. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we won yesterday. I rewatched the extended highlight reels of that game. You know, it's about 23 minutes or so, something like that. It is, and and I have the same feeling I had yesterday because we won. We scored 4 goals, and again, if you just look at in the app, you know, I don't know what app you use, SofaScore or whatever, to check the result, and you see 4-2, you're like, man, 4 goals, you know, great, we're clicking, you know. But if you watch that game, you know we were not clicking. It wasn't a great game, you know. The goals we scored were not, how do you want to say that, like a build-up play, something you can see each and every single week. It's not, you know, we are actually the team in Serie A with the most goals from set pieces if you take away penalties. So you should take penalties away, but we're the team that have scored the most goals in Serie A from set pieces, taking away penalties. And I don't know if that's a good stat or if that's a bad stat. I think it's a good stat to have because it means you can, you know, win games or unlock games in very difficult situations, which is good. But I still, to this day, we have games where we create a lot, but in those games we usually miss them. But most of the time we have games we don't create a lot. And when I talk about creating, I talk about like a real, I don't want to say, like a good build-up play, not a ball over the top, kids are beating 2-3 men and taking a shot out from outside of the box. That's not creating chances. I don't even classify that as chances. Some do, but that's not what I want to see. And yesterday, again, we scored 4 goals. But if you just look at the names who scored those goals, Quadrado, Bremer, they're basically center backs. They're playing at the back. You can say Quadrado, no, but the way he plays, yeah. Rabiot, who scoring goals this season, so credit to him. But Danilo, Bremer, Quadrado, I don't know. It feels weird. And if you watch that game, you guys watch that game. In that second half, like it was 2-2, and I couldn't believe it was 2-2. We had done absolutely nothing in that half, like absolutely nothing, and we scored 2 goals. You know. If I were a Torino fan, I would be pissed because you kept Juve into the game when they had no business in being in that game in that second half. They had no business, but we did that. So I guess credit to the team because we won. You know, we took the quote unquote chances we got, and we got the 3 points. Now, before I want to talk why I mentioned the video, I titled the video "Is He a Genius?" Really quickly, I want to talk about Chesney because that's a debate. You know, if we start Pedin tomorrow, I'm not gonna lose sleep. I'm not gonna lose my mind. Same if Chesney stays in goal. Excuse me. I'm not gonna lose my mind because for some reason it's made up as a very big problem at the club, which it isn't. You know, that first goal we conceded, I literally saw people blaming Chesney, and if you do that, like not even me, not even I had that of an agenda against Bernardeschi. I didn't like him, but to blame Chesney for that first goal is absolutely ridiculous. Because if that Torino player, I forgot his name, missed that chance, I would have subbed them off if it was one player. Like, you cannot miss that chance. Like, it was a tap in. There's no way goalie should be stopping that. But he gets blame for it. And it's being, I don't want to say toxic, but it's becoming such a discussion point that I'm like, this, like, we're focusing on this with this squad. This is the focus now. The goalkeeping situation. When you see what's happening every single week, the way you play, you're putting it on the goalkeeper. Weird, but whatever. If we sell Chesney, again, not gonna lose sleep. If we sell Perin, not gonna lose sleep. Like, I don't really care. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that of a big of an issue. But whatever. That's it. That was what I wanted to say about that situation, basically. About that debate or talking point, whatever you want to call it. But again, it's very extremes. Like, there's no middle ground with fans. I might be the same. I might have done it in the past, but like, Danilo goes from scoring a goal to become called a great defender. And again, the word great is being used in a very weird situation. He might be quote unquote great in this team, but we have quote unquote a lot of great players in this team. But if you just sit back and you're like, yeah, these players, they shouldn't be called great, and it's not him, it's a lot of players. But whatever, it's very extreme. There are extremes. There's no middle ground. Same for Perin. You call him shit or you like it. There's no middle ground. But whatever. I don't think that's big of an issue. If he starts Perin tomorrow against Roma, I don't really care. If he starts Chesney, I don't really care. That's not something I'm going to lose sleep over. I think they're both okay. They're not both world class, so I don't really care who plays, to be honest. Chesney is a starting goalkeeper, so we will play. I'll accept that. Like, I'm not going to make a big debate about it. Now, if we had, I don't know, like, I'm going to make it very extreme. If you had Courtois and you were benching him for the Perin or for the Chesney, then yes. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'll play Perin and lose my mind over what, Like, what's the upgrade? If you think the upgrade is that massively, you have very wrong priorities with this club, in my opinion. But that's that, He's not going to play him. He's going to play Chesney. I think Allegri made that abundantly clear. Like, it's pointless, basically, at this point. He's going to play Chesney. Now, the title of the show, is he a genius? It's obviously not serious. But some might call him a genius. But to play or to ban, like, Locatelli is suspended. It's a big game. It's a derby. And Torino, I've said in the preview, when they come to the stadium, somehow they turn up. When they play at home, they're crap, against us. They're absolutely horrendous. When they come to the stadium, they turn up. So it was a big game. Locatelli is out. We did a preview. Everybody was like, okay, Paredes is going to start. What's going to happen? Can he make any sort of a difference? That was a talk. And then before, like, we end the preview, like, literally, me and Julian, we end the preview. And then the Gazzetta Sport report comes out saying that, hey, you know what? He might not start Paredes on Tuesday. He might start a random kid, from the under 23s. And I'll call him random, not to disrespect him, but there's no hype, buzz around that kid. There's no expectations because he's not labeled as one of the most talented players in the under 23s. He had a big injury. He had a setback in his development. And nobody was really pushing to play the kid, Nobody was really, going out of his ways to say, you need to play him, don't play Paredes. It was just like, at that point, you're just going to accept Paredes is going to play. But he starts Barrenechea, who when I read that news, I was like, you know, um, I've watched him play a couple of times. I don't say he's bad or that he is like I don't even say that. He is underwhelming. I don't want to say that, but excuse me. Every time I watched him play, I'm like, okay, like it's nothing special. It's no Miretti when I watch Miretti play with under 23s or Sule or even Fagioli, at times. It didn't create a buzz. Like it's not wow. So I was scared. I was like, oh, this is a big game. The spotlight will be on him because, hey, Locatelli is out, and the big news story of the day is Paredes is getting benched. And the spotlight will be on him. So he starts him. I was scared at the beginning. I thought he did well. His passing is not 100%, but if you watch him play for the under 23s, you know that like he's not. How do you want to call it? Like he's not. I don't want to say Pjanic or Pirlo, but like he's not very clean on the ball. That's not the type of player he is. He sees things, but it doesn't really come off most of the time. It doesn't. And I'm okay with that. But what I do like about him, he showed character because defensively he was good. He stood his ground, like he won most of his duels, so that was kind of impressing for me. I was like, okay, at least you do that because I've seen Paredes get run over this season. But he's not a great passer. I will accept that, because not everybody is. Excuse me, but he sees things in terms of where to move, where to run. Run when we're not in possession. I remember one time in the first half, I'm going to say it was around the 30th minute, Di Maria was trying to dribble in midfield and he lost possession. And he saw that. He saw that even before he lost possession and he took like 2 steps. And Di Maria indeed lost possession and he was there to make the recovery because if he didn't, I'm going to say 99% it was goal because it was going to be 3 against 1 or something ridiculous like that because Di Maria did something very stupid, but he saw that, and I was like, okay, he can read the game at least, because he's not a good passer, but he reads the game well, and that's what Allegri said pre-game. He said he is mature, he can play, he understands the game, and I do believe he understands the game from what I've seen. Again, very small sample size, and when he stopped him off, I was like, oh, he's playing very well. Like that was basically like he was getting completely in the groove or in rhythm. And then post game, Allegri said it like I actually maybe shouldn't have stopped him because he was playing that well, but we needed a goal, and I needed to make some changes. But he was playing well, So I'm gonna say credit to him because it's out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting him to start. He did start him. There was big pressure because the spotlight is on him. It was the big story of the day, basically, of the evening, and I thought he did well. Nothing special, so I'm not gonna hype it up. But like I said, with the under 23s, not everybody is gonna be special. That's number one. Not everybody is gonna be at the club. In a couple of years, it might be only Fagioli. It might only be Miretti. I don't know. They're not gonna all stay. It's impossible that you hit on 6, 7 youth players and they're gonna all be in the first team and you're gonna compete. If that happens, that's ridiculous. It shouldn't quote unquote happen. So that's why I'm like, okay, if he doesn't make it, I get it. It's okay. Let me bring up a few comments because I've not watched. Yusuf say he's nothing crazy. Yeah, I agree. I don't think anyone said he's amazing or whatever. Rodrigo saying he was always in the right spot. That's like half the game. Yeah, that's what I said. Like I like his positioning. I like that he read the game well. I like that he understood where to be. because his role is he was playing as a defensive midfielder. He played that very well. Now, on the ball, I don't think you need to expect him that he's gonna break those lines, with the split pat like a Pjanic. Like he's not gonna do that, and I'm totally fine with that. If you have players like Pogba and maybe Locatelli, again, if he's gonna start again, running, you might not need to play those 30-meter passes. You have Pogba to do that. You have Locatelli to bridge those gaps. I just want, personally, what I want from a defensive midfielder is to fit that role, read the game, and just clean up whatever it needs to be cleaned up, push the ball up the field with a run, not with 30-meter passes. That's just what I like from a defensive midfielder, in my opinion, because we have Pjanic. He was good on the ball, but defensively, I was not a big fan of him, personally. But it is what it is. Yeah, he's not good breaking the lines. I said that. Although saying he's a fantastic defensive mid prospect, he is a combative midfielder, not a flashy midfielder. Yeah, I agree. It's a different type of defensive midfielder, basically. To be so young and to be that good in defense, he could be a great prospect. He turns 22 in May, if I'm not mistaken. So he's still young, but he's a bit older than the other guys, basically. So let's see. Best thing I saw from him was his slide tackle after taking heavy touch on the ball. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah. I remember that. I think that was also in the first half, right? It was after that Di Maria lost possession and him recovering it in a very key moment, But he's like I said, big. I was scared when he was on the team sheet. I was worried because I was like, I don't know what to expect, because it's his first start. It's a delicate situation, and it's kind of a big game, because I said in the preview, Torino will come for us because that's who Juric is, and it's a derby. Like they're not going to sit back. They do that at home for some reason, not when they play us at the stadium, and they didn't. And I was worried. I was like, is the pressure going to get to him? And it did it. They didn't ask much from him in terms of in possession, which I do like from Allegri. He didn't put the entire, how do you want to say that? The entire package required to play that position on him, They asked to fill in that position defensively very well, and he did that. So I'm happy. It's good to know that you have that player now, from now until the end of the season, who can come in and do a job. Also because, let's be completely honest, if you bench Paredes in a derby at home when Locatelli is suspended, and you bench him for a player who played 2 minutes this season at home against PSG, I think you tell Paredes you are done. Post game he said he needs to use this to basically get angry and improve, but he's a seasoned player. I don't know if you are gonna motivate him by telling him, "I'll play a kid ahead of you," and a very experienced kid ahead of you. I don't know how Paredes is gonna react. Post game, he was celebrating the goals with the players, nothing like that. But I personally think you killed him. And you're gonna need him. Because we play many games. Locatelli's not going to play them all. There will be injuries. At some point, you're going to play Paredes. And I don't know how he's going to react. Because it's a big decision. He didn't even came on. It's a big decision from Allegri. Post-game, he said, it's just a decision. Nothing against Paredes. He said, the kid can play. He plays very well. And you saw that. That's why. He proved it in training that he can play. But this feels very un-Allegri, I will say this. Because there was no pressure from outside. There was pressure to play Fagioli, play Miretti, play Junior, play Sule. But there's no pressure to play Barrenechea, And he did it out of the blue. Completely out of the blue. After backing Paredes in the pre-presser. He backed him from the earth to the moon and back. He praised him. He's important for us. We're gonna need him, and then boom, you're benched. You're benched for a kid. So big call. Let's see how that will pan out. Because again, Barrenechea can play the next home game and be terrible. Like who knows? So it's on him. Let's see how it works. Excuse me. Um, isn't that what worked? Barcelona, they had a great batch of few players. They had made the first team. I understand. Not all be in the first team. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it depends on what you want because that batch of talent was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. And they bought some of them, by the way. They were young. I get what you're trying to say, but it was ridiculous, talent-wise. A bit like Man U back in the 90s. Ridiculous. Like, it usually doesn't happen. Hope Pogba return doesn't mean he would disappear. I'd love to see more of him. Okay, I'll talk about Pogba after this. After I read some super chats, excuse me. Is Rovella the natural replacement for Paredes? Yes. Locatelli should be used in the right position over... Yeah, I think Rovella should be. But again, he's also kind of injury prone. So let's see what the club will do. Okay, Pogba. Because he came back yesterday. And I said so many times on the previews and whatever. I said, wake me up when he actually steps on that pitch. Not to warm up, but to play games. And he did yesterday. I was shocked that he got as many minutes, but oh boy, like just happiness. Like it is what it is because you can dislike him for his flashiness, which I don't really get because I don't care what he does. If he dyes his hair, if he wears, I don't know, a robe. I don't really care what he does outside of the pitch. Like, I don't care. But if you dislike him about that, if you dislike him about his choices from in the summer, if you dislike him from just how he is, what he does, I don't think you can dislike him when he plays because when he comes on, it feels different, and he didn't have much playing time and the game was kind of gone really quickly after he came on. But technically, let's forget about the injuries for now for a minute, but technically he is unbelievable. Like he is, again, one of the gifted, excuse me. Technically, because I'm 28, so from what I can recall watching Juve, he is one of the most gifted players I've seen at the club. Like pure talent, it's unbelievable. Excuse me, because he's very, very tall. Like he's a tall player. He looks, how do you want to call that? Like long legs. Like he looks kind of a player where you're like, he's just a good player, but technically he's unbelievable. The close controls, what he can do with the ball very close to his body is unbelievable. And you saw that clip and that typical Pogba. The moment I saw that happening, I was like, yeah, that's Pogba. Like I've seen him doing this or these type of things so many times for us. It was just a joy, and it's a small sample size, but the control, like with a player pushing him, the control with the chest, and immediately turns, picks it up with his head, control close to the feet, slow down play, plays into Fagioli, like it's just joy. Now, the injury part is a big issue. Like, can he stay fit? History says no. Well, let's be completely honest. History says you need to be scared the moment he steps on that pitch, and that's obviously the flip side. We knew that when we signed him, the injury in the summer was kind of a freak, and the decisions being made, made it worse. But we know he can pick up injury. That is the concern. That's the fear. And we need to live with that because we signed him. I'm not gonna hate on him because of that, because it's not his fault. It's his body. You know, you cannot. It's like Ramsey. You know, I wanted him out, but injury wise, it's him. Like it is what it is. We knew that when we signed him. It's who he is as a player. You know, it's not never gonna change. Sadly enough, because he's unbelievable. Like he's an unbelievable player. The moment he comes on, I think everybody kind of, you know, if you were kind of down and kind of watching the game while you were on your phone, when Pogba comes on, you're like, okay, I'm gonna watch, because those are great players. You know, when we talk about Danilo is great, you know, or Sandro is doing a great job, or Rabiot is having a great season. You know, when I say great is when I see Pogba play, because he's unbelievably gifted. Period. Injuries aside, because we cannot change that. It is what it is. We knew that, but just talent wise, it's unbelievable. Like, and it was good to have him back. It was good to see him. Got some flashbacks when he came on from the good old days when he was unstoppable. You know, unplayable. It's good to have him back. That's all I can say. So happy for us. Happy for him. How long can he stay fit? Who knows? I think we just need to wait and see, I guess. Rodrigo saying Pogba is on another level. Having him on the pitch is amazing. Now we have a few champions on the team and feels like maybe we can have a good Europa League. Yeah, if on paper, if everyone can stay fit, you know, and you have a midfield of Pogba, Fagioli, I don't know, Locatelli, Fagioli, I'm just saying something, Di Maria, Chiesa, Vlahovic. We need to see if it can work with all those players on the pitch, obviously, because it's all new. Like, they never played together. So we need to wait and see if that's possible. But on paper, that's quality. But we know what paper means, because on paper, Vlahovic is quality. But if you see him play lately, it's not quality, because he's very up and down. It's not all his fault, but he also needs to do better. I'm not going to make this a Vlahovic video, because I want to talk about him on the podcast with Julian, but it doesn't feel right with Vlahovic at the moment. You know, the chance he missed, you cannot miss that. You know, I understand that we don't play to his strengths, we don't create a lot, you know, besides putting that ball into the box with crosses, but he needs to put that away. And when he came off as a sub, he didn't look particularly happy. Which I do like, by the way. You shouldn't be happy with the way things are going. He shouldn't. But we need to turn it around for him. Jav is saying, I agree 100%. The moment Pogba touched the ball, he made a statement. It was like he was saying, I'm one of the best players of my gen. Yeah. If he didn't pick up injuries, and I still cannot believe he went back to Man U when he left us. Like, leaving us, I get, you know, I don't care. But going back to Man U was just, what could have been for him personally. You know, he still has had a great career. World Cup, he won in Italy. Yeah, England wasn't the way it should have been going. Shouldn't have gone. But I understand. I still don't understand why he chose Man U, you know. But yeah. Aldo saying Pogba has a real presence on the field that we haven't had in a long time. The type of player that makes opponents take a step back. We have lacked that fear factor a very long time. Yeah, I agree. It's just, can he stay fit? Because if he can stay fit, I still believe, especially in this league, in the Italian league, he will be unplayable again, you know, for us, you know. But let's see. Let's see how it go in the next couple of weeks, because we have big games and we play every 3 games, so he's probably gonna get a lot of minutes. Let's see how he will hold up, because he's out since June, basically. You know, yeah, training camp and a few minutes against Chivas, but like, he's been out for months and months and months. So it's just hoping at this point. He was the best player in Man U. Like, there's no, not even arguable. Like, he was. Like, Man U fans will try to tell you he wasn't. He was. Like, he was playing in a crap team. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna wrap it up for today. You know, unless anyone has any other questions, go watch my Hoyson video, because that was kind of funny what happened today. I think, it was a good laugh. Um, Tomorrow there will be a daily with Justin, I think. Yeah. On Friday there will be a live and a podcast, most likely, and then preview on Saturday, and then match day stuff on Sunday, obviously. Crazy Racing with him returning, I think we have to drop for Jolly, which absolutely sucks. I don't think you can drop for Jolly. Because he's been our most consistent and best player the last couple of months. Like yesterday, especially that second half, he was very good. He was very good. So I don't think you can really drop Fajoli. But again, it's up to Allegri to make a decision. Let's see what he will do. Starting 11 with everyone fit, Roma will be a heavy game. I want to talk about that later on, in a different show down the week. Otherwise, I will have the same discussion. So, but that's a good question. Why don't you guys have Twitter Spaces after games? Because we don't have time. We are on YouTube live. I do my preview. I watch a presser, tweet out the quotes. So we just don't have any time. But we are thinking about doing random spaces during the week. If people are gonna listen to it, obviously, because I never hosted a space, so I still need to figure out how it works. Because I I tuned in some of them and they are chaotic. I'm not even sure I can deal with all that. But yeah, that's why. Before I wrap it up, if you want to join, you can still join the members club. You can join the private Discord group chat, the private prediction league to win stuff and all those things. You can get a badge alongside your name, all that stuff. If you do, let me know that you join and I will add you to the Discord private chat. Gonna wrap it up. If you haven't liked the video, like the video as always. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification. And we will see you again Friday live. Do I think Hoyson will get a chance next season? I'm 50-50 on that. I need to wait and see until April when we have more news. March. No, let's say May when we have more news about potential transfers. But I'm 50-50 on that now. Watch alongs, I will never do a watch along. If it's friendlies, okay. If not, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want that. I don't want to have that on tape. But if Julian or Justin can pick that up anytime soon because they're very busy in their personal life, so it's very difficult for us. But I think there will be a few watch-alongs in the coming months, so stay tuned for that. Like the video. Thanks for watching. We will see you again on Friday live.